and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another big game, James. Man, it's another episode of Best of Enemies. Sorry we're late. You know, things happen. It is what it is. We already got a Niners fan in here, Jay. So, you know, I think that we know what type of time they on today. But no, we're gonna talk about it, man. How you been, James?
I've been doing good. Sorry if y'all can't see me real good. Y'all don't need to see my face, though. But for real,
I think you're covering the mic.
Oh, can you hear me now?
It's like muffled.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Yeah, so I apologize about that. Don't worry about looking at my face. I'm getting ready. San Francisco is going down. Y'all know what it is. This isn't our parameter because we still got the playoff season ain't over. But this is a big game because we want to exact revenge. But like I told people on Twitter, Dak is 2-0 in the regular season against San Francisco, so we ain't tripping.
Hey, in the regular season, I mean, look, this is.
I'm just saying, though, this is a regular season game, so 3-0, he got to beat.
It is a regular season game, and I think realistically, I know you say that it's not like the playoffs, which it isn't the playoffs, but this is a good game for you guys. This is a good game to kind of test who you are. You know, the 49ers, while they haven't really played anybody that tough, they're a good team. I mean, we all know that they're a good team. This will be a good test for you guys. I think the Eagles have a good test against the Rams, so we'll see what happens. You know, one team will go 5-0, one might go 4-1. We'll see what happens.
The other team's going to be 4-1, so you'll be joining the ranks. I'm calling the Rams an upset. Now, I think I called the Patriots an upset, and they played y'all close. But this one, I'm calling the Rams an upset because y'all haven't been playing the greatest in your 4-0 mark.
Facts. I mean, it's true. But my thing is, would it be an upset?
Then y'all struggle with Washington OT and they come out and get smacked by the Bears. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was bad. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, y'all lost to the Cardinals. I'm not letting one game define us. But if we lose to the Rams, is it really an upset? I mean, realistically, the Rams have a good offense.
Not upset. It's not an upset. The Rams have a good team.
Yeah, so it's like it depends on how the game goes for me. Like if we go out there and get blown out, then I'll be mad. You know what I'm saying? But if we go out there, we play a good game. It is what it is. They are a good team. At some point in this season, we're gonna lose. So you know, I hope not, but I think we have a good shot. I mean, we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens. Shout out to everybody in the building already. Got 35 people in the building. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are. We appreciate y'all taking the time to kick it with us because we know there's a lot of people out there live. But look, I'm going to start from there because, you know, and then we'll get into some of these, you know, topics we want to talk about because I know a lot of people are probably wondering about what happened with, you know, the Commanders and the Eagles barely beat them and they go out there and look terrible against the Bears. I'll say two things. All right. And these aren't excuses because they look.
Excuses.
No. Look, the Commanders made us look worse on Thursday Night Football than they did when we played them. Like them losing in that fashion to the Bears made us look bad because like you said, we struggled against them. It is what it is. But I do think Sam Howell is a good quarterback. I think that, you know, it's going to take him some time, but I think he is a good quarterback and divisional games are always a toss-up. It's always a tough matchup when you're playing in the division. So I'm not happy about it, but I'm also not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, we must suck. We'll see what happens this week. I think that, you know, all we can really base who we are is off what we do. So if we go out there and struggle against the Rams, you know, again, they are a good team, but I will be a little bit worried. I just want to see W's. We're learning. We're trying to get better, but it is what it is. I know people probably want an explanation. That's as much as I got right now. That's the best I got right now.
One thing I can say is this. Y'all played them Patriots. They played y'all tough, too. Y'all played them in New England. Mac Jones looked like a world beater against y'all, and Mac Jones is regular. He looked like a world beater. Y'all scored 9 points in that second half. It was 25-20. Y'all got lucky with the man going his foot out of bounds because they was inside the 10-yard line when that happened. They came in Dallas and got mollywopped.
Hey, I mean, y'all whooped their ass. At the end of the day, they had 6 months to prepare for it. So I don't know. It's hard to really be said. They did. They had 5 or 6 months of the offseason to prepare for one team. I mean, that's what they did. That is what they did. At the end of the day, you could call it an excuse. You could call it whatever it is. The Eagles, at the end of the day, they won. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they won.
y'all won, and I can't take that away from y'all. But from the first 4 games of the season, because the game is in quarters, right? The season is in quarters. So for the first quarter of the year, yes, y'all 4-0. But can I honestly say you're the same 4-0 team? Well, you weren't 4-0 last year, but y'all had a damn good season. But at the end of the day, right now, I can't say your team, 2023 team, is the same as your last year team because it doesn't look like it. Yes, y'all got Jalen Carter, who's a dog, but your secondary is struggling. Okay, your secondary is struggling with teams. Jalen Hurts, I'm not saying he's playing bad, but he's got 3 INTs already. He's not playing like the Jalen Hurts of last year. Your running game is good, and I even seen in that Washington game where y'all had a chance to go for it. I don't know if it was a 3rd or 4th down or a 3rd down, and y'all were in their territory, and y'all could have went and tried to get a touchdown, and y'all settled for the field goal. It was like a 3rd down and like 8, and y'all ran the ball up the middle. I'm like, every time y'all have big plays, although Jalen Hurts did throw the big touchdown to AJ Brown, which was nice. But it seems like every time y'all team starts getting up on y'all start playing it close to the vest. That's just my opinion.
I mean, we can say the same thing about the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are doing what they have to do to win, right? Offensively, they don't have to go out there and throw the ball 50 times.
We said against Cardinals. We said when you go.
Y'all did lose. I mean, y'all lost to Sam Howell. We didn't lose to him. Y'all lost to the Cardinals. We haven't played them yet, but
that many year didn't mean anything. And don't sit there and tell me that Cardinals team is a bum squad because every team they play Washington good too, didn't they? They should have beat the Giants. The Giants came back and was miraculous. I don't know how that even happened. And I know you just saw that last game against San Francisco Cardinals. It was 21-17 late in the 3rd quarter until the Niners pulled away. The Cardinals played them tough. They had 6 10-play drives on them. They moved the ball up and down on that defense. Joshua Dobbs looked very effective against that San Francisco defense.
He looked very effective versus y'all defense too. I mean, at the end of the day, my thing is great teams find ways to win, even when they're on their off days. I can say realistically, the Eagles, 3 of their 4 games were bad games. I will say that, but they still won them. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think that after this game against the 49ers, I'll sit here and eat crow and say, you know what, that Cardinals game was probably a one-off, which I'm kind of there right now. I'm kind of like, that Cardinals game most likely was a one-off, but it's a mark on your record. And you said it, and I think you said it perfectly. This game is going to come back to bite you in the butt. If you lose, now you have to win games against the 49ers. Now you have to win games against the Eagles and other NFC teams because you lost the game you were supposed to win. So, it is what it is at the end of the day, but it definitely is a stain on your record. But I agree with you. The Eagles don't look the same as they did last year. There's a lot of differences. And in that secondary, there's been a lot of injuries, a lot of, mixed matching of who's out there. So it does suck. But I think that Washington game, kind of like the Cardinals game was for y'all, I think that Washington game for us is a wake-up call. I think it's hey, we got a foot in our ass, you know what I'm saying? And now it's time to go out there and be who we're supposed to be. So, it depends on – I live by the mantra that it's, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% what you do about it. So we saw that 10% what happened to us. We struggled against a team we should have a couple teams that we probably should have, dominated. But now we got that 90% that we got to go out there and we got to figure out what we're going to do about it. We can't let people stay in games, especially when we get to the tougher games. But it is what it is. So I want to ask you this. Obviously, this is going to be a big game for you guys. I mean, you guys hate the 49ers. We hate the 49ers too. But hey, my dog always drinking my coffee. But I want to know, why is this game? And I'm going to answer it too, because I do think that this game is important for the Philadelphia Eagles. But why do you think this Niners game is so important for the Dallas Cowboys this week?
I'm going to keep it real. I don't think it's important for me it's an NFC game. I'm going to keep it real. It's an NFC game. We've already lost the Cardinals, which I told you and we just talked about, that's an NFC team. If you go out and lose to the 49ers, now you have 2 teams that have already beat you early in the season from the NFC. Those things are going to come back to haunt you. Playoff seeding, all those things right there are going to be huge. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. Psyche, maybe, but I don't feel that way. I don't feel like if they were to beat us, this Sunday we're gonna be like, oh, the Niners we can't never beat the Niners, because that's not true. Dak is 2-0 against the Niners in the regular season, although it is the regular season. Obviously, we're 0-2 in the playoffs. But it is important to me just because that's the NFC game. NFC games are always important. And plus, this is a measuring stick in some sorts. I just don't. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think this is the same Niners team as last year as well. If you want me to keep it all the way real, I just don't see it. I don't know what it is, but I just don't see this Niners the same team. So I think this is just the perfect opportunity just to beat them. Shut up a few of the namesayers, because the namesayers are still going to be loud, Joe. Because the first thing they're going to say is, "Wait to the playoffs," right? They're going to take away this victory and say, "Oh, you beat them, but you beat them before. Wait to the playoffs." So a lot of people are going to dog this victory anyway if we go ahead and beat them. But I think it's a good thing for the NFC, and just to let everybody know that yes, this team can be beaten. We love to play again in the playoffs if we could.
And I think, and I want to know your opinion on this before I give my, spiel on this Rams game. Do you think Jerry Jones making this such a big deal is a good thing or a bad thing? Because I feel like he's out here acting like this is, didn't he say this is your road to the Super Bowl? Like, you guys got to beat the Niners. Like, do you think that puts unnecessary pressure on your team? Because if you do lose, people are going to replay that clip a million times,
No, nobody listens to no 81-year-old ass Jerry. Okay, real. Nobody listens to Jerry Jones no more, dog. He's 81 years old. He is close. He's real close. You feel me? The man, he says the most. He has to say things to keep Cowboys in the media. That's what Jerry does. I think our fan base knows this by now. That Jerry just be talking out the side of his neck. So I don't think anybody takes anything serious Jerry says. Now, I pay more attention to what Stephen Jones says. You feel me? Because Stephen Jones has that foot on the organization. He's the one that's managing that money. So I'm going to listen to what Stephen says a little bit more than Jerry, because Jerry is 81. He's just, I think he's losing it in some ways in the mind. Might be some dementia going on. I don't know. But I just feel like that's going on anyway. So I'm sorry. I just can't take him serious in anything he says. I just listen to it at all. And I think a lot of Cowboys fans don't either by now.
Yeah. I just, when I heard that, I was like, damn, bro, it's week 5. Like, let's chill out. Let's, what I'm saying, get through the season a little bit. But I feel you. He is getting 81. That's crazy. Shout out to him.
It's a good, important game because it's the Niners. You feel me?
Yeah. Shout out to him. I hope I get to 81. Shoot, I hope I'm that, talkative at 81. I ain't gonna lie. But no, look, I think it's gonna be a big game for you guys. And we do have a poll up on my channel, asked basically who they thought would win this week. And so far we have 24 votes on it. And so I put who wins week 5, either the Eagles, the Cowboys, or both, or neither. So far 92% are saying the Eagles, and then 8% are saying both. So that's good. Keep on voting on that. I want to see what people think. And be honest. You can be honest. But it's going to be an interesting game for you guys. It's going to be an interesting game for us. And realistically, I think that this game is important. And again, it's not important in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it's an NFC game. You want to win these games. Down the line, you're going to be looking at seeding. You want to have all these wins. But the Eagles are weak, just like you said, in that secondary. And I think that this team will test the heck out of that secondary. Matt Stafford is a little bit banged up, so we will have that as an advantage. Obviously he's not a guy that really runs out of the pocket anyways, but it might hurt him inside the pocket because he's very good at climbing the pocket, finding holes within that pocket to, get a little bit of extra time. So, you got Puka Nuka out there, you got Cooper out there, you got Tyler Higbee. He can be a force in the passing game. So they have a very good passing attack, and this is going to be a very, very good test for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think this is important because you can shut a lot of people up. If you go out there, Darius Slay has a really good game on Cooper or Puka, whoever he's going to be on. James Bradbury finally gets back to the outside. Hopefully, old boy that we just brought on, Bradley Roby, maybe sees some snaps and we see some flashes out of him. I know he's a veteran. So, it's... Say again? Say again?
I said, hell no. Bradley Roby, y'all.
Bradley Roby might help us. I'm not saying he's going to save us, but he's going to help. Having that depth, having that veteran depth. People thought that Patrick Robinson was absolutely garbage. Patrick Robinson came in and had one of his best years of his career with us. So I'm hoping You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, but
You hoping.
I'm definitely hoping that could be something that happens. I mean, he's not trash. He's older. He's coming off an injury with the Saints, so like he's not trash. He's had, I think, 4 pick sixes in his career. I'm hoping that he can be a help because we just want to get Bradbury back to the outside, and maybe there's a solution on the roster. I don't think so. Maybe there's a trade coming down, but this is big just to kind of calm down this Eagles team and know that every passing attack isn't going to demolish you. If we go out there and get demolished by this passing attack, I'm going to be really worried, and I'm not going to know what's going to happen next. I'm going to be 100% honest because there's not many more. There's not much more coming. There's, Malcolm Jenkins isn't walking through that door. We're not getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but like this is the team we have. We might go out there and get another, go get another secondary player, but this is who we have. So
y'all get nervous as hell, and y'all get nervous as hell, and then y'all start making 30 trades.
I mean, you guys are looking for new players too. Like at the end of the day, trades. Yes, we do make a lot of trades.
Not like y'all do. If y'all seen last year, y'all had a couple people out. Y'all was getting everybody. That's what y'all do. Now we look at people, but we don't go out and grab everybody because we could have got Randy Gregory if that was the case.
Only person we got last year was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
Y'all got. And y'all picked up your boy in the middle too. Don't do that.
Who?
The Eagles. Y'all got Dominican Sue and with your boy
they were free
Joseph.
agents. They were free agents.
So?
Jordan Davis got hurt. You guys don't pick up free agents?
Not really.
Well, y'all should. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's the difference. The Eagles, take care of spots that they. At the end of the day, and shout out to Roman here already talking that talk. We don't need to be saved, but the Eagles right now, and maybe I'm by myself. But in my opinion, if the Eagles again give up a bunch of passing yards, very high completion percentage, then yeah, we have to figure something out in that secondary because we're obviously not good enough. But we don't need to be saved. We're obviously finding ways to win. It's about finding ways to dominate now. It's not about finding ways to get back into the, contention. We're number 1 in the league. We're number 1 in the conference, in the division. So I'm not worried about the winning. I'm worried about how the winning comes. We need more depth. We need guys that can spell these guys. I mean, we have a lot of young players that we feel confident in as Eagles fans, but it doesn't look like the coaches are that confident. So this game is important to me because we need to go out there and show that we can hold people down.
I would totally agree with that, especially so this is a perfect test for y'all because like you said, this is Cooper Kupp's first game back. They're gonna look for him. Panuku, whatever his name is turning all the way up. And Stafford, he sling that ball. And the Rams is gonna be a competitive game. So I think for your own, a lot of people are gonna be looking how your secondary plays because that looks like the sore spot. And obviously the Rams know that, and they're going to definitely attack that. We're going to see what happens. But I also want to see how Jalen Hurts plays against the defense as well. Because as I said before, this isn't the Jalen Hurts of last year so far.
It's not that far off, though. Jalen is not that far off. He's run a little bit less. He's passed a little bit more, but it's not that far off.
Interceptions.
He does have 2 interceptions, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. 3 interceptions, excuse me, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm sorry, that's not that many.
Y'all had lost the game or something, y'all would hop on the only reason why you're not talking about those interceptions is because y'all 4-0. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's made plays when he's need to. That's the biggest deal. He didn't throw an interception in the red zone against the Cardinals, so I'm good. We ain't lose no games because of his mistakes. I mean, you can say that the Cowboys lost games because of their mistakes.
That game because of that mistake, and that's a whole lie. So just take.
I said because of their mistakes, not just because of that one.
About to say now, it wasn't really a mistake because we only had 1 turnover in that whole damn game. First of all, when you were talking about injuries on your team, well, we got injuries right here, we got injury right here. Did I make that excuse? We had for our starting 3 offensive linemen out that game against the Cardinals. Nobody talks about that though, right?
They did talk about that. I heard a lot of Cowboys fans talking about that, which is fine. You did have that, but your defense is what let you down in that game. I don't think it was your offense that let you down in that game.
True story.
So I mean, I agree with you. Our defense let us down in a couple games, but we did have injuries in the secondary. I mean, we had Josh Jobe out there starting. Reed Blankenship was hurt. N'Kobe Dean is hurt. I mean, it's no excuse, but that's the reason why we
Don't
have
even
to kind of.
bring Kobe Dean no more, okay? Don't bring up his name no more. In your
He
life,
balled
okay?
out week one. And look,
No more. He's hurt guy. Don't bring him up no more. He's hurt guy.
he only got hurt once in the league. This is his first injury in the league.
Was he hurt last year?
He didn't get hurt last year. He just didn't play.
Kobe Dean wasn't he hurt last year?
He came out into the draft injured, but he wasn't injured for the Eagles. We just didn't play him. He played at the end of some games, but not like full time. We had TJ Edwards, we had Kaiser White, we had a whole bunch of guys, so he was just not the starter. But I mean, this is his first. It's not a good look, as I say, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's definitely not a good look that he's hurt this quick, especially after one game of actual work. But Nicholas Morrow has been doing his damn thing, so I'm not too worried about it. I think that he'll be fine.
He had like 2 sacks the last game, so you're right. But we still ain't scared of your linebackers over there neither.
Well, our linebacker's looking good. Zach Cunningham is all right, but I mean, if we can figure out how to work Nicholas Morrow and N'Kobe Dean into the fold, because he should be back either next week or the week after that, then it might be interesting. We might have something going, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this defense definitely worries me. I mean, it is what it is. I can't sit here and lie to you. I will say there's some good parts of this defense. Like, we have been very opportunistic. We lead the league in forced fumbles. We we're I think 4th or 5th in turnover differential. So there's some good things of this, but it is what it is. We got to be better. We definitely have to be better, and hopefully we see that. Hopefully that happens this week. So we'll see. But this is an important game for both of us. This definitely is an important game for both of us. Now, I do want to talk about because we just talked about it a little bit, but I want to talk about the injuries for both teams. You started off last one. I'll start this one off real quick. The Eagles are without, obviously N'Kobe Dean, even though you don't want to talk about him, but obviously N'Kobe Dean's out. Obviously Avonte Maddox is out for the year, but we do have an injury to Fletcher Cox. It looks like that might be a multiple week injury. Obviously we have a Jalen Carter that can step in for him, so that will be exciting to watch. But we also don't have Marlon Tialapatu, who's our other defensive tackle. Doesn't see many snaps, but is definitely a loss. And then Sidney Brown, our rookie safety, that is more so a special teams guy right now. He's seeing some snaps on the defense, but not a lot. Those guys are all out for this game. I don't think it's the hugest of deals. And Cam Jurgens, which is actually a big deal. I mean, losing your offensive guard, especially when you're about to go against Aaron Donald, that's definitely not ideal. So that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck real big. But Sua Peta has come in. He's looked decent. He doesn't give you exactly what Cam Jurgens gives you, especially in the run game. Cam Jurgens is a lot more athletic, so you're gonna lose that. But I think Sua Peta will be fine. I think Cam Jurgens probably would have got worked by Aaron Donald. I don't expect Sua Peta to look like an all-pro, all-world offensive lineman against Aaron Donald. But that sucks. Fletcher Cox, it sucks, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited to see Jalen Carter, to be honest. I think that he hasn't been getting enough snaps, and I think this is the perfect game for him to just go out there and really show what the hell he got. And if he goes out there and balls out, it's going to be very hard for this, coaching staff to ignore it. And I think that they've been doing that. He's been balling out, and they've kind of just ignored it and said, well, too bad. Fletcher Cox is still going to get 60% of the snaps. So hopefully we see something different. And I will say this. I think all this adversity this early for the Eagles is actually a good thing. I truly do. I think that the Eagles need to know what they have going into the playoffs. And last year we were very lucky and very blessed in the sense of people not getting injured, right? We were one of the healthier teams in the NFL. This year we're going to have to learn how to win through some adversity. And I think that's good. I think that that's a good thing. When things aren't going well, I feel like if we would have had more games like this last year, the game against the Chiefs might have went a little bit differently, because I don't feel like we were ready for that adversity. So this year, hey, as long as we keep winning, we get a good seed going into the playoffs. I think that we can go back on these experiences and say, all right, we've been here before. Let's do this. We got this. Let's come together and let's go win this game. So Yeah, that's the injury report. Not the prettiest of injury reports, but life is life, I guess. And but what are the Cowboys looking at?
Well, right now, I mean, this is what I would say. This might be the healthiest our offensive line has been. The first time all year, the whole offensive line has practiced together. That is huge. Tyron Smith, we all know about him. He hasn't had a finish the season since I think like 2017. He's got the knee injury. They're saying he's a good probability he could play. That's a good thing because obviously, Boza. I don't know the other edge guy, but the defensive line they got Eric Armstead, I believe, still. But they have a tough defensive line, but it's not a defensive line that can't be pushed around a little bit. We've seen that it can. Boza's the highlight guy, so Terrence Steele, who still I don't think is 100% back from his knee injury. He's had a lot of struggles in pass pro, and that's who he's going to have to go against. So Terrence Steele just got the big money deal. He's made a great improvement at right tackle from being undrafted, but he's going to have to have the game of his life. Him, and also if Tyron Smith can't go, Idoga. Now Idoga, I don't like him at the left tackle. I'd rather him slide at guard. You could put Tyler Smith, who basically is the best left guard in football right now. He's playing the best football as the left guard in the NFL right now. So we'll go ahead and say I would love to move him on the outside, but hopefully Tyron Smith can play. That would be huge for us because we need that whole offensive line. We can have the whole offensive line up feeling good. As far as everybody else, our other injury is Rico Dowdle. He had a hip injury in the last game, and we were all concerned about it because he had a hip injury that actually kept him out all of the year, I think a couple years ago. So they said it was just a contusion. So hopefully he can get out there because I think we're going to need to have some tough yards up the middle. But when I look at the defensive side of the ball, guys, Micah Parsons, he had the little, somebody stepped on his knee. He came out, he came back in, but he said he's feeling real good. So that's the big positive. We can't be having Micah Parsons hurt. Only really major injury right now is going to be Trevin Diggs. I mean, obviously that's huge, but I mean, they got Brandon Ayuk who's playing some damn good football. Obviously, Debo Samuel, Kittles, we know about them. So this game, Trevin Diggs is going to be missed. But we saw Deron Bland. Didn't we talk about him last year? Didn't I say he's one of the best young corners? I definitely did say that. And when we were comparing third cornerbacks, you were like, oh, blah, blah, better. Right now, Deron Bland is better. 8 interceptions his first 2 years in the league. 2 returns for touchdowns. Hush your mouth. Deron Bland's one of the better young cornerbacks in the league. So that's a great trade-off if you lose a Trevin Diggs when you got a guy like him coming back. Gilmore. We got Nashawn Wright coming back from injury reserve, short-term injury reserve. So this is one of the healthiest we've been so far, except by the major injuries that your guys are gone. So I feel good about injuries heading into this San Francisco matchup because we have everybody we're going to need to in the correct matchups. One, except the Trevin Diggs.
And you got somebody say you forgot about Javon Hargrave out there. Yeah, Javon Hargrave's out there. He's doing pretty well too. He's doing good.
Hargrave, he's going to be going against Tyler Smith. Tell him to don't forget about Tyler Smith, who's the best young left guard in the league right now, period.
He all right. Nah. I mean, what's up with Akeem Richardson? Is he going to get some PT?
Nah, he probably, he's a rookie, and I think they want to go with more of the veteran guys. I mean, they went and got Ndoga. They wanted to trade for Ndoga last year. So obviously they had the sights on him. And since Ndoga hasn't played terrible, even though he got worked in that Cardinals game because he's not a better left tackle than left guard, in my opinion. He just doesn't have that movement. But I think they just don't want to throw Sim Richards in the fire right now. You feel me? I think they want to kind of slow cook him this year and kind of go with the veteran before throwing in the rookie. So I think that's their train of thought. Not that Sim Richards isn't good, but he's a rookie. He's young. And I don't know if they're saying you about that life right now.
Yeah, he's a Philly guy, so I'm hoping that he does well for y'all, at least when he doesn't play us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think he's put over there to mess with the ops a little bit, get us information. But
I like his game. I liked him at left tackle in the preseason. Obviously, I think he definitely has to get stronger. You can see he has to get stronger, but he has nice long arms. He's got great movement, great athletic. It seems like he's got really good athletic ability. So I think that's definitely something to build on. And if you keep Tyler Smith at left guard, and then maybe you like it at Sim Richards, that's maybe your building blocks for years to come because those are young guys right there. Terrence Steele is still young. Beatis is still young. Obviously, Zach Martin is older in the two. He's still very dominant. He's the one of the, if not the best right guard man in football right now. The stats state so as well. So we feel good about our offensive line and what we're doing right now. So yeah, their defensive line is good, but the main guy to me is Bosa because even though he only has 1 sack, he has a lot of pressures. And even in that game against the Cardinals, he put a lot of pressure on Dobbs. He was working that offensive tackle. So we feel good about that, but their offensive line is struggling too. Their whole line, the right guard and right tackle have given up like 20-some pressures between them, 5 sacks between them. That right side is the weak link. DeMarcus Lawrence is on that side. They fall victim to stunts. We can really attack them. So as far as our lines go, I like the way our lines match up against their lines going into this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said, did Joe talk about how bad his team looked against the football team? Yes, I talked about it. They're the Commanders now, okay? But no, listen, and I again, I'm going to say it again so you can hear it, Justin. I don't think that has anything to do with us. They suck. It is what it is. Division games are always like that. But you guys lost to them last year, so I mean, I don't know. I don't get how it gets lost. Like when we win games but look bad, y'all make it seem like we lost the game. Like we won the game. It is what it is. They got their ass whooped by the Bears.
With us, so cut it out.
But y'all lost. We don't talk about your wins. We talk about your loss.
About our wins, your main trumpeting Philadelphia Eagle guys. That's all he talks about is us, and that's all he talks about. Oh, y'all barely did this, or y'all played this quarterback, and y'all say all. That's all y'all been talking about with our victories. Y'all ain't played no good quarterback. Trust me, I've been hearing the noise from your Philly people, so cut that out.
I don't think any of us really played good teams yet. I mean, realistically, 49ers haven't played anybody. You guys haven't really.
I think the combined record is like 3-9 for the teams we played, and I think San Francisco combined record is like 6-6 who they play. So in the beginning of the season, nobody's really played anybody. Let's keep it all the way real. Nobody has played really anybody. You'll start getting into the meat of the schedule when that happens. But the thing you're always supposed to do, what I heard, is that when you don't play a good team, you're supposed to stomp them, and that's what we have done.
Or lost to a bad team, you know.
That happens as well. Is that a bad team?
The Cardinals are a bad team.
Well, are they a bad team?
Yes, they are a bad team. If you can question if they're a bad team, then I can question if the Patriots are a bad team. If the Vikings are a bad team.
They are a bad team.
I mean, yeah, record-wise, they are. Offensively, they're like historic, though. Offensively, they're historic.
It's yourself earlier this year that the Patriots were good.
Yeah, I mean, they're not great, but the Vikings offensively, they're historic, and we beat a 3-1 team. We're the only loss for the Bucks. I mean, nobody wants to talk about that. Hey, who do we just play? The Commanders. I mean,
they're not good.
I mean, they decent. They all right. If you can sit here and say that the Cardinals, then the Cardinals have 1 win this year.
Because the first game of the year, the Cardinals banged with them too. You feel me? So it's like the Cardinals have been getting blown out in their games, have they?
They've been losing. So you're saying that the Cardinals aren't a bad team? I'm
just saying they have played competitive. They have played tough. I know I don't like Gannon, but it made me sit there and think. I looked at this 49ers game in San Francisco. I said, if they get their ass whooped by the Niners, yeah, they're not a good team. But they banged with them Niners, bro. It was 21-17 the third. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, oh, they're a good team. But for me to just say, oh, they're bad, I mean, they're missing components, but I can also say maybe if they had Kyler Murray, they probably could have beat the Niners.
I don't know. They're bottom 15 in almost every single category except for like rushing.
They don't have no players.
They got a decent. I mean, yeah, they don't. They're trash, right? They're bad. That's what I'm saying. They're a bad team.
I'll go with bad, but for me to say they're trash, I can't do that.
Hey, I mean, I don't think that they're that good, but we'll see what happens. I do want to ask you this. I want to ask you this about the Niners because. Honestly, last year I think before last year I said that could be, the Cowboys' last hurrah with Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. Do you think if they are to lose to the Niners, that puts a stain on Mike McCarthy or Dak? Like, because at the end of the day, it might not for fans, but we know that Jerry Jones, at the end of the day, he's 81, but he still runs the show. So he seems like he really wants to beat the Niners. If you guys go out there and lose to the Niners, what does that mean for Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott? Does it matter at all, or is it just another, regular season game you think to your front office?
I mean, it's a regular season game, so I don't think that matters. It matters for the simple fact that in 3 years, you lost them in 3 years. I think that's what matters to me. You feel me? That's what we're all going to talk about. Oh, you lost them twice in the playoffs, you lost them in the regular season, and you lost all the games under McCarthy. Whereas Jason Garrett, you beat him. You feel what I'm saying? Jason Garrett, you was 2-0 against him with Jason Garrett, but you still can't seem to beat him, Mike McCarthy, and it's been 3 times. So I think that's what's going to get blown up more than anything. But in the big grand scheme of things, no, because we know, Joe, this is a regular season, dog. It's a long season. And just because somebody wins in the regular season don't mean in the playoffs. I can say that for sure. In 2016, we went into Green Bay and beat the Green Bay Packers, and they done got a freaking foothold on us as far as record, and Aaron Rodgers did as well. So for us to go in and beat Green Bay the way we did in rookie seasons, that was huge. But what happened when they came to Dallas? They beat us. So nobody cared about us beating them in 2016 in the regular season. All that mattered was people talking about that victory that we lost to after we had the number 1 seed as well. So that's what's going to be talked about. My 3 years with under McCarthy, you lost to him 3 times. That's what's going to be talked about. But you have redemption, you get to the playoffs, because that's where it all counts. So big scheme of things, it'll be okay. Small things, they're going to say, do the Niners have your number?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I think that if you guys lose, it'll be bigger for the 49ers than you guys. Like, that's personally how I feel, because I feel like the Niners will go into week 6 undefeated still, right? We'll see what happens with the Eagles. They might be the only undefeated team. But, I mean, Brock Purdy has continued to kind of show what the 49ers thought he was. And I think that if he goes against you guys, which has a very good defense, right? We both agree there. If he's able to go out there and, again, have another efficient, good game, that'll be big for them. That will be big for them. So I think it will be bigger for them to win than it is for you guys to lose. But, I'll definitely be talking that talk if you guys lose. But it's a win-win situation for me. It really is. Like, I don't mind if you guys win, because if you win, then the Eagles are the only undefeated team, and we got to just handle business on Sunday. If you guys lose, then we got a 2-game lead on you guys. So it's really, I'm going to go into that game stress-free. I'm going to be happy as heck. I'm going to be sitting there watching that game, just enjoying it for once. So I think it'll be a good game. Now, I do think it'll be a good game.
Rams beat y'all, so I can feel good. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel good too. So I need the Rams to come in there and whoop y'all up, because like I said, Brock Purdy's been efficient. He's been steady. He's not elite to me, but he's a steady quarterback for what they need. When I look at the San Francisco Niners, I look at Shanahan, and he seems like he just schemes. If you stop his scheme, it just, from my thought, if you stop his scheme, you can stop the Niners. They don't do anything exotic in my opinion, as far as their play calling, okay? But they just do a lot of motions, they do a lot of misdirections, they do a lot of things that kind of confuse you. But it kind of seems like it's in the whole grand scheme of things, kind of the same thing. They're just doing it in different ways. So I think that's where you got to take their effectiveness. Their guy is Christian McCaffrey. He's leading the league in carries, he's leading the league in yards, he's leading the league in rushing touchdowns from a running back. So he is the guy. Last year, when we shut him down, that's why the Niners struggled, in my opinion. They scored 19 points, right? They only had like 9 points going in that damn fourth quarter. We've had the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? Brock Purdy like 210, 219 yards, I think. 29, these are off the top of my head. No touchdown, no pick, I don't think. But what really made us really bang with them, Christian McCaffrey had 10 carries for 35 yards. Deebo Samuel was neutralized. Kittle only had 1 big catch. He had 5 catches, but only had 1 big catch in the game. We neutralized them offensively, and that's why they didn't do anything. We could have been able to do what we need to do offensively. That game would have been ours. Now we have more weapons. Last year we had CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, I don't know who else. You feel me? Now we got a Brandon Cooks, we got a healthy Michael Gallup, we got a Jalen Tolbert, we got a Jake Ferguson who had, I think is going to be better than Dalton Schultz. Offensive line, Tyron Smith, remember, didn't play that game. Or he did, but he was injured. And then you had Terrence still who didn't play in that game. So we had quite a bit of injuries, and we had an underdeveloped team before then. And remember, Tony Pollard left in that second quarter with injury. So we were very limited offensively. We shut them down defensively. What we need to do again, Joe, is have that same defensive effort, that same defensive type game. As I've been saying before, our linebackers are going to have to be key. Jamal Clark, LVE, Marquise Bell, y'all going to have to play good, solid, disciplined football. Stay in the gaps, stay gap control. Make sure you wrap up and tackle, no missed tackles. Don't let a screen pass to McCaffrey go from 2 yards to a 20-yard game. Those are the type of little things that we're going to have to do in that game. Because if we neutralize Christian McCaffrey again, I definitely love our chances.
Yeah, I think you keep on like cover because it goes in and out. Your mic goes in and out a little bit.
It's, you know what it is? It's just this phone. It sucks.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you some headphones, big dog. For these, we're gonna have to get some headphones.
Got off work, so I had to come here on the fly, and I didn't want to miss the show. So I'm on Wi-Fi, no headphones, being straight ghetto with it. So sorry, y'all.
It is what it is. This is what we do for y'all. This is what we do, no matter what. No excuses. We're gonna be here. But no, yeah, and you know, I see a lot of people talking about is Cooper Kupp back. He is, so that kind of brings me into the keys to the victory. You kind of talked about it as well, what you guys have to do. Look, for the Eagles, it comes down to that secondary. It comes down to that front four. We have to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. We have to get there. We have to actually finish plays. I feel like all year we've gotten in the backfield. We've gotten a lot of We've gotten a lot of pressure, but we haven't been able to finish plays. If we can finish plays, excuse me, if we can go out there, finish plays, then I don't think that we have to really worry about our secondary. It's, one hand washes the other. If the front four, front seven are able to get some pressure, then the secondary doesn't have to worry about holding guys for 4 or 5 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Or 3 or 4 seconds, or more realistically. But this is a good matchup. So it comes down to our defense being able to get pressures, being able to put Matthew Stafford off his spot. It comes down to our offense being able to run the ball, keeping the ball out of the hands of the offense for the Rams. And, Jalen Hurts playing a mistake-free game. I think that we don't go into this game doing anything that we don't already do. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I feel confident that we can go out there and win. We know who we are. And to a certain extent, we know who the Rams are. The Rams aren't anyone much different. Kind of like what you said with the system for the 49ers. If you can stop what they love to do, then you have a very good shot of winning this game. So, yeah, the Eagles rotation is hurt by Cox being out, not by Marlon Tialapatu, Bear 24. If you can't even say his name, you obviously don't think he's that big of a deal. So don't try and get people scared over here. Like Fletcher Cox not being Fletcher Cox not being in, definitely not good. But we also got this guy named Jalen Carter. You should look him up. He's pretty darn good. So I'm not too worried about the injuries. I'm more worried about the execution. We just got to go out there and execute. This defense has to communicate. The communication has been terrible over the past couple of weeks, and that is where I need to see improvement, because if we're not communicating, especially with a lot of the backups that we'll have in, a lot of the young guys that we'll have in, you're gonna get demolished. I mean, it is what it is. It's there's no secret. If you go out there and don't know what the hell you're doing, you're gonna get exposed, especially in the NFL, especially with 2 very good wide receivers, right? Puka's looked like one of the best wide receivers in the league this year so far. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But on the other end, the Rams got to figure out how to use all their guys, because, yes, they have Puka and Cooper, but how are you going to spread out those targets? You haven't had to decide. You haven't had to do that for the first couple of weeks because Cooper Kupp was hurt. So now it's on the offensive coordinator, which I think, the coach really, Sean McVay really runs that stuff, but which I think Sean McVay is a little bit overrated. But anyways, it's going to be on him to figure out how he's going to utilize every weapon in his arsenal. So we have to make that difficult for him. We have to make it so that he only has one choice to do. And, hopefully it becomes a running game, because we will demolish them if they try to run on us. So that's where I'm at. Use Swift, run the ball down their throat. Jalen Hurts, play the game right, smart, and defensively just communicate. Be on your P's and Q's, know where you're supposed to be. It's all about assignment football with us. I think that we have the players. We just don't have the communication in place. And I think the offense is trying to do new things as well, which you can kind of see some communication errors there. So it really comes down to simple, just be you, be what you are, be who you are, and go out there and dominate this game. If we go out there and dominate the Rams, I'm going to be high. I'm going to be feeling very good going into these next stretch of games, because this is probably the best game, maybe outside of the Commanders, but this is probably our best game for the next like 8 weeks. The next 8 weeks are going to be tough. You know, we got you guys twice. We got the Chiefs, we got the Bills, we got the 49ers, I believe. So over the next couple of, it's going to be tough. So we have to take advantage of the game like this, and we got to go out there and win. I mean, it is what it is. Is there any more keys to y'all that you want to go over?
No, just if you can hear this, Dan Quinn, if you ever just happen to listen to our podcast, I know you probably don't, but if you ever listen to our podcast, Dan Quinn, play Wanye Thomas, please. Please play him. I think Ron Curse and Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, man, they were so great last year. They're not as good as they were last year. We've had some interceptions, right? But those young guys came in and played on fire, Joe. And honestly, Wanye Thomas needs to take somebody snaps. I don't know who it is between them three, but Wanye Thomas needs to take some snaps. He's the future. He is the real deal. They kept him on the practice squad all last year. He came in with his ears on fire in the preseason. Translated to the regular season has been everything you exactly want. Don't play people because of contracts. You feel me, Joe? Don't play people because of contracts. You play people because they're better. So Wanye Thomas was playing one of the best football in a short amount of time, and then he had to go straight to the bench because you activated Donovan Wilson. Don't just rely on, because J. Ron Curse doesn't look like the same J. Ron Curse to me. Yes, you love his leadership. Yes, you love his fieriness, but you got to bring all that stuff on the field too. And I feel like Wanye Thomas, he may be an upgrade over J. Ron Curse, dog. And I'm sorry, Lord, don't forgive me. Please forgive me for saying it. But this is how.
Hey, I think all your defense is a little bit overrated, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, hey, this is gonna be a good test for y'all.
You just got Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter's a dog. Jalen Carter is an absolute dog. Best draft pick in the NFC East easily.
Oh. Yeah, he's the best draft pick in the NFC East, no problem. But we know who's the best draft pick overall in the NFC East right now. Michael Parsons.
He all right. He all right. We'll see what he does. This is a big game for him. He's got to go out there and dominate. So we'll see what he does. I do like Michael Parsons. I can't lie about that, but it is what it is. I liked him like
this needs to be a statement. If we're saying any kind of statements, once again, I apologize if y'all can't hear me. I did this ghetto because we wanted to get this show because we missed last week. We'll be on the regular schedule, there, all that good stuff. So just bear with us and bear with me on this one. But I will say, if we're talking about any one person in this game, this is a Michael Parsons game to me. Dak Prescott definitely needs to make a couple throws, but this needs to be a Michael Parsons game, right? So many people have been talking trash. He didn't do nothing against the Niners. He didn't do that. He didn't do this. Well, you know what? This needs to be a Michael Parsons game. Michael Parsons come in there, get a 2-sack, forced fumble, get about 8 tackles. Just be a guy, be legendary. This needs to be legendary, like a Lawrence Taylor. Be legendary. This needs to be a legendary type game. He's going to have them, but this needs to be start off your legendary type games. This is where your name really gets made up in these type of games.
The facts. And Rome said, I don't keep it real at all because I said that was obviously a joke. We've sat here and talked about Michael Parsons till the end of time. Like I have said things that people get annoyed. You know what I'm saying? But I always keep it real with Michael Parsons. I'm just not going to do it right now. It is what it is. I don't care. We've had a lot of conversations about Michael Parsons. Now, the last couple of things I want to talk about before we get into the last thing I want to talk about is the NFC East rankings. I want you to kind of go over what you're looking at. But who's a player to watch in this game versus the Niners? I'll start for the Eagles. I think offensively, it's going to be Jalen Hurts. I think that this is a game that Jalen Hurts can really, take over. I think that this is a game that the Rams don't have the best of secondaries in the world. They got a young secondary, so hopefully he can take advantage of that. But defensively, I'm going to say Jalen Carter. Now that he has more snaps, assumedly, I'm going to assume that he's going to have more snaps. And if he does, I think that he's going to utilize them. Every time I see Jalen Carter out there on the field, I see a play made. I see him go out there and be a dog. So I think that Jalen Carter is going to be an X factor to this game. And yeah, those are my two. I think that Jalen Hurts on offense and Jalen Carter on defense. So it's going to be a Jalen type game.
I like that. I'm gonna bounce off you on my key to the game. Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons, like your main guy on your team on your offensive side, and your main guy that might be your main guy on defense, and Jalen Carter. So I'm gonna go ahead and bounce off that and say the same thing. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, because their secondary isn't the greatest. It's Lenore, who can be picked on. They have number 7. I can't remember his name. Somebody told me in the chat. But he can be attacked. Ward. I think it's Proverbial Ward. He was with us. It's not a great secondary. I know they got Chikunga, but it's not a great secondary. Dak can eat it up. And this needs to be a game where Dak makes some big plays, right? Some big passes. The last 2 years in the playoffs, he hasn't had the greatest of games. So this is a game that a lot of people will be looking at as maybe a Dak game. Maybe some silence a few critics game, making some big throws in this game, Dak Prescott game. So I think it can definitely happen because that secondary is suspect and they can move the ball up and down the field. But Dak is going to have to make a few plays in this game that's going to take us over the hump. And on the other side of the ball, Micah Parsons. We got a lot of players on this defense, but Micah makes it go. Obviously, we just talked about Micah has not had the awesome games that he won against the Niners. So I think if he comes in there and be legendary, has a legendary type game, those two people, those are the deciding factors in the game for me, buddy, right there.
So Micah Parsons has a half a sack against the Eagles. I want to see what he's done against the Niners.
Hella pressures, though. Hella pressure. Don't knock out pressures because pressures matter.
I just want to see what he does against the Niners. If anybody can find those numbers, because I'm gonna have to like actually search it, and it'll take me time. I want to see what he does. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely gonna be a big part of that game, man. I mean, he always has to be, right? That's your dog. That's your guy on defense. He's a leader, in my opinion. Shout out to Marley QQ with the $5 super chat. She says, "Keep doing what y'all doing, but that Cowboys versus Winers game should end in a tie. I don't care who wins as long as the Eagles secure another dub." I'm cool with that. I'll take a tie. I would definitely take a tie. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the NFC East. I mean, look, I think that the top 2 teams we know, right? But I want to know how you feel because personally, obviously, I'm putting the Eagles first. Then I'm putting you guys. And then I'd probably still put Washington, even though, they just got their tail whooped by the Bears. But I just think that the Giants are absolutely ghastly. So before we get out of here, I would love to know what you think about the NFC East. How would you rank it?
Well, right now, I might have to have y'all over because y'all undefeated. That's the only thing I'm going to give y'all. Because y'all are 4-0, we're 3-1. It only makes sense. So Cowboys fans, don't get mad at me. Don't hate me. But yeah, I'm going to have to give it to y'all because y'all are undefeated in the game. It only makes sense, okay? That would just sound stupid. I'm kind of homerish. I just say we're better than y'all right now. We have a loss, right? So right now, the ranking would be y'all over us. And then, but I'm going to go ahead and agree with you with Washington being third. I think we had the Giants being third, right? Did we have the Giants being third at our preseason?
We did have that, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, and remember we both talked about in the preseason as well, right? We said Sam Howell will be the difference for Washington. Then we said if they find them a quarterback, then they probably could jump the rankings because obviously we know the Giants don't have a quarterback. But guess what? We are glad that you signed Daniel Jones. Everybody in the NFC East is glad you signed Daniel Jones, Giants, because y'all are never winning anything. So we're always going to count dubs against y'all. That's 11 straight against y'all, so thank you. But Sam Howell is the difference. Even though he had that terrible performance, we had 4 interceptions. He really may be the future. Remember, I said that he's the guy that if contingent everything is on, and Sam Howell is looking okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you with those standings. Eagles first because of record, Cowboys second, Washington third because of Sam Howell. And we got a pretty good front line too over there on that defensive front. And yeah, the Giants are just abysmal. And remember, we kind of did talk about them regressing because I think we only had them with 8 wins.
Yeah, so for those that weren't able to hear some of it, he did put the Eagles number one. That's all that really matters. that's all that matters.
We're gonna have to delete this.
This is gonna be I think this is gonna be a good year. Until obviously we play each other, it is what it is. Like we don't know what's gonna happen until we play each other, and I think that'll be the biggest test. To go over the poll real quick, 59 votes so far. Who wins Week 5? Eagles are at 88%. Obviously, it's a little bit skewed. It's an Eagles channel that they're voting on, but 3% are saying the Cowboys, and 8% are saying both. I think most people probably think that both teams are gonna win. I mean, this will be big for both of us.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game. Hey, and let me give a shout out to Regina Green for the holla Cash App birthday Cash App. Appreciate you, Miss Regina Green. If you heard that, thank you so very much.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Regina. So we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we wanted to make sure we got on this show and stuff. We both got lives. It is what it is, unfortunately. Until you guys, start sending $100 donations like some of these channels get, we gotta have to work. We gotta have a job. It is what it is.
You feel me? Hey, yeah, just as Joe said, sorry about the technical difficulties today. I got off work a little bit later today. I was gonna go home, I couldn't, but I was like, man, we can't miss the show again. So we did it how we did it. We'll be back on schedule. Sorry if you couldn't hear it. If you replay it, if you don't hear it, this is why I was at the grocery store. I jumped on my Wi-Fi and said, let's just do the show. We got to get it popping, but everything will be good. But hey, like Joe said, push up them donations higher. It could be even better.
Yeah, exactly. We could be at home, chilling, relaxing. You know what I'm saying? I got to go to work in a couple of hours. So, if y'all want to make me quit my job, y'all know how to do it. But either way, we appreciate everybody. We've had over 100 people in here for the whole show. So we appreciate you guys. And we do apologize again for the technical difficulties if you weren't able to hear some of it. But we will be back, like he said, next week. So other than that, man, you got anything else you want to say to these beautiful people, bro, James?
No, just appreciate the support. I'm sorry I couldn't hear all the trash talking because I really wanted to hear it. Really wanted to see it because I know you Eagles fans be going in. But definitely just, continue to support. Let's get it in. I hope for a good game tomorrow. Definitely Cowboys dub, Eagles lost, and bring y'all on the show right after y'all lose to the Rams so I can hear a little tiny rant because I want to hear a rant from you, and I don't want to hear a rant from me this Sunday.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it is my turn, but I'm hoping that after Sunday I gotta call James like, hey, here's the link. Time to come on here and talk about it. We come on here to talk about it, but no, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this weekend. But I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are, and hey, listen, I'm 12 away. I'm 12 away from 6,000. So if 12 of you guys want to come on over. You know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe, help your boy out. I'm almost there, but I appreciate y'all. But yeah, other than that, y'all know what it is, man.
Let me throw mine in there too. I'm on. It's not 16, but I'm only 260 away from 15K. So let's say the Cowboys community, we were really appreciate getting big games. Big game James is at 15K. I think I'm like 260, 270 away as it says from my 15K. That'll be pretty awesome in the streets. So hit that subscriber button, the like button, all that good stuff, and support our channels. We want to continue to grow. We want to continue to rise to the top like the cream of the crop rises. And that's what me and Joe both want to do. We put in tremendous work for this Cowboys community all the time. Even with this Best of Enemies podcast that we started last year, and it's been doing nothing but awesomeness, and it's due to y'all. So just continue to bless us. Continue. We don't beg. We don't do anything like that. But we definitely do love your support, and we want your continued support. So please go out there and continue to support us wherever it may be, because it's greatly appreciated for both me and Joe.
Yes, sir. And I'll probably go through some of these comments for next week and pull some of them up because I ain't gonna lie, some of them are really funny. So next week when you on your computer, we're gonna have to go through some of these comments because they kind of funny. But either way, y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate everything y'all do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. But other than that, are you subscribed to all the Cowboys content? Yeah, I am actually. I support all the Cowboys. But either way, y'all know what it is, man. I am Joe. That is James. And we are the best of enemies. Peace.
We're brothers